Sophia Lillis deserves so much more after Honor Among Thieves, and it just further shows why a Dungeons & Dragons sequel must happen. After her performance in Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, it's clear Sophia Lillis should be getting so much more work, and that a sequel needs to happen. Since her breakout in it, Chapter 1, Sophia Lillis movie and TV roles have been steady and diverse, but none have been as much fun as Dungeons & Dragons. Honor Among Thieves shape-shifting druid Doric. The D&D movie just confirms what those who have been paying attention have known all along. Sophia Lillis should be a bigger star. Lillis was the best part of the It movies, a standout in the aforementioned Honor Among Thieves, mesmerizing in the indie folk horror Gretel and Hansel, and most recently appeared in the ever-whimsical Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. Her TV projects have ranged from the adaptation of Gillian Flynn's dramatic thriller, Sharp Objects, to the coming-of-age fantasy comedy I Am Not Okay With This. To get anywhere, an actor has to have it, the intangible quality that makes them pop every time they're on the screen, and Sophia Lillis has that. Sophia Lillis should be a bigger star. Currently, there are a handful of young actresses in their early to late 20s who have experienced meteoric rises in Hollywood, and their names seem to be everywhere. Jenna Ortega, Millie Bobby Brown, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, and Anya Taylor-Joy, just to name a few. They seem to be cast in everything right now, and if they're not, they're at the top of every predictable fan casting list double, that if it's a franchise film or book adaptation. While she's just as good, however, Sophia Lillis' name doesn't come up as frequently, which is a shame. Lillis has quietly been one of the most consistently great young actors working today, with a captivating presence every time she's on the screen. Plus, unlike some of her contemporaries who have been shoehorned into big-budget Netflix genre projects, or typecast in every project that calls for a gothy teen, Lillis has shown her range with her projects, refusing to fit into any one category. It doesn't matter the drama or medium, Lillis is adept at them all, and she should be a bigger name than she currently is. Dungeons & Dragons. Honor Among Thieves 2 could give Sophia Lillis a bigger role. While Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves was an ensemble cast, it was Chris Pine's movie, which is understandable. He was the main protagonist and the biggest name in the cast. Even so, the others in the cast, including the younger actors, more than held their own. In particular, Lillis' tiefling druid Doric and Justice Smith's wild magic sorcerer Simon had a dynamic that became its own subplot as the movie unfolded. Dungeons & Dragons. Honor Among Thieves 2 would almost certainly explore their potential romance, seeing as how it was clearly set up toward the ending of Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. Even more interestingly, though, a sequel could explore Doric's powers even further, which would be great. She was easily the most competent and powerful of the entire party in the first movie already, with her wild shape abilities key to literally every plan. She was still a low-level druid in the first movie, though, so there is a ton of space for her to grow and become even more skilled. Giving Doric a more prominent role in Honor Among Thieves 2 would allow Lillis to explore both her dramatic acting abilities in a romantic subplot, but also more physical acting with her druid abilities leveling up. Is there any hope for Honor Among Thieves 2? Of course, all of the above is mere speculation, as it depends wholly on whether a Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves sequel even happens. At the moment, it doesn't appear it's in the cards, sadly. While it didn't flop, Honor Among Thieves definitely underperformed at the box office, usually the death knell for further franchise development. Still, there are some positive signs. Dungeons & Dragons. Honor Among Thieves has been a hit on streaming and VOD, after having received great reviews showing there's an audience appetite there. That's a positive sign for studios that audiences do want the story, it just wasn't marketed well. If a sequel to Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves does happen, it would likely be on a smaller budget and may be created for streaming. Other movies in similar positions have received sequels, but usually after a few years and with a slimmed-down budget. If Hasbro and Paramount can work out a deal, it's not out of the question to see Sophia Lillis as Doric once again.